Welcome back to the Weekend Warrior Show Recap Podcast. I'm Ty from the Unemployed Architects. Trying something a little different as normal. I got the double camera going, so we'll see how that works out. First time trying that. But yeah, so I got 4 shows to talk about. I haven't really had time to do extra. So last week I had the Wooferton on, talking about his album. So that gives me a lot to kind of get through this time. So I have, let's see here, Montrose Saloon in Chicago. That was a Friday after Thanksgiving. Did Lock 12 in Bellevue, Iowa. The Saturday after, that was the night during the day, I had the Pawn Shop series with Kyle Yap, so that was very cool. I picked up Weft Sessions. They needed somebody kind of last minute, and I had a show in Champaign the following Friday, so, we all thought it was a good idea that I kind of be the fill-in. And then lastly, including that Poor Brothers show, lastly. So the Friday was the Poor Brothers in Champaign, and then Saturday, Paw Paw Brewing Company in Michigan. So kind of all over the place. You can tell that I book all my own shows because they're all over the place. No clear path, but always within about 3 hours of home. So nothing too crazy driving wise, but all right, so let's get into it. Montrose Saloon. It's kind of an interesting thing. Denise LaGrasse, I believe is her name. She's from the Bloomington area, and she was playing there, and I didn't really... Denise LaGrasse, she's from the Bloomington Normal area, so it was kind of a random... She did her and her band did the happy hour set from 6 to 8, and... I'd seen her before. I think we've crossed paths a few times, but I don't know if we've ever formally had a conversation. But she was good. It was great. It was awesome to see her play and sing. And she does a little keyboard and sings a lot of like bluesy kind of rock kind of stuff. John Norton was there, which he does the WGLT stuff. So it's nice to run into them kind of completely randomly. And then I played next. The band that was supposed to... I think I talked about this the last time I did a solo one. The band that was supposed to play that night canceled last minute. So it kind of had a weird turn of events happen. Because so it was just like me starting the night out, a couple acoustic guys. And then they got a band, which one of the guys was... from a band called Tortoise, and the other one was from a band called Wilco, which Wilco I'm pretty familiar with. I don't know that I know Tortoise all too well, but they ended up and did it at the main slot for a little over an hour at the end, and it's kind of bigger names for the small town, or the small towny bar. So it was in Chicago, which I'm always a little bit nervous about driving up there, and it was relatively smooth. I think that I just have more driving experience under my belt at this point, that it's not as daunting. And I don't know, I did catch some sort of wave of, not hitting too bad of traffic. And I got there pretty early. I can never time the bathroom break out right, though. I usually take a pit stop at the... it's Shorewood Joliet exit, and I'm like, I only got, a little over an hour left to get to where I'm going. I'll be fine. But I'm always chugging water the whole day and trying to keep my fluids up since I'm singing. And like I said, I never time it out right. So I'm always like have to pee so bad by the time I'm there. And a lot of times you get stuck in traffic. Luckily that wasn't the case this time. But yeah. It all worked out. It was just when you get into town and just Chicago and you don't really know where you're going, you don't know where you could stop to hit the bathroom really quick, and I don't know, it's always a little bit uncomfortable, and I swear it happens like every time I go there. Anyhow, so it's the bar, the Montrose Saloon, kind of a small towny bar. I mean, it didn't seem like a big city bar by any means, but it was still cool, to be up in the city. It's always awesome to see the skyline when you're pulling into town, and you kind of forget it was dark, because it's dark early right now, and you forget how cool it looks. But anyway, so I had a 1 hour set, and then the guy from Wilco and the guy from Tortoise played, and they were super experimental, kind of just instrumental. Seemed like they were just, improving everything, which was still interesting and cool. It just was different than I would have expected if it was like if it was like the band that was playing. I probably would have expected that was supposed to play. Would have expected actual songs maybe, but it was kind of just like a free-form jam, and they were both really good. It was a drummer, and he had a little keyboard set up, and then the guitar player, which he had a pretty elaborate pedal board with some very unique sounds on it. I got some videos, so maybe I'll post that before too long. Try to tag those guys, but it was a fun night. I mean, it's different. It's a different feel when you're not like the full 3 hour act. If you're the only entertainment all night, it can be pretty daunting. And so it was like, and I was the first one to play after Denise got done. So it was, I didn't have to bring my own PA. They had a sound guy, but of course I feel like I always rub sound people the wrong way because I just am so used to doing sound for myself, and I just don't explain it maybe well enough. But I'd sent a couple things about how I was doing the one-man band performance, but it doesn't seem like that was necessarily communicated. But and then I kept I had all my gear and stuff, and the guy kept saying, when you all, or when your band plays, and he didn't really, I think, get it necessarily until I was actually like doing it, and I think he did appreciate it once he kind of saw it. But it was hard to explain, and I feel like I'm so used to it that a guy that is just randomly doing sound that maybe it's not his main gig, and he only knows kind of how to, doesn't really do like different places, or they just one specific place, and they seem to have lots of acoustic people that just kind of come into play, or a band. Anyhow, I just feel like he was very confused, and I felt bad that I didn't do a better job of explaining what I was doing. But we got it going in like 20-30 minutes, and I mean, that's pretty quick, I think, ultimately, because usually it's 45 minimum to get all my gear. But and then I did all originals, which was fun, and I felt like I got good reactions from the crowd, even though there was probably only 7-8 people there when I started, maybe 10 by the time I was done. It wasn't a big bar, though, so I mean, it didn't really feel like it should be packed all the way out. And so then I did my set, got off the stage pretty quick, and there's a guy after me named Joyce Harding. And he had some really cool stuff, I thought. He played electric guitar and kind of singer-songwritery, but it was like his electric guitar was very mellow. He had a telly, I think. So, and he was on. It was weird because usually people pick one or the other as far as the pickups go, but he was in the middle, so it was both pickups, and it just had this really full, like clear sound, which I think you can get away with in more of a solo setting. I don't know if that would really translate to a band, but it just sounded really nice. And he had a big, I want to say, orange amp or some really nice tube amp that I can't really remember off the top of my head. And his songs were pretty laid back. I think it was quite the contrast between what I was doing, but I really enjoyed it, and I thought he did a really good job. And he was kind of last minute, and I chatted with him for a while afterwards, just about music in general, and it was nice to meet a fellow traveler. And so then I got back pretty late, although I left around midnight. I think I was back by 2. Didn't go to bed quite as early as I should have, because I had the pawn shop series with Kyle Yap the next day at 10. I had to be there at 10. The actual thing wasn't until 10:30, but I got up really early and warmed up because I did not want to be like real rough, which singing in the morning is just always harder. I mean, no matter what. But I warmed up, and I was pretty warmed up maybe from the night before, and it felt really pretty solid. I mean, I don't think it was my best necessarily, but it was decent. You know, I think the Mariota studio performance I did the weekend before, I think that one was about the same. Like, I don't think it was necessarily my best on either front, but it wasn't what I would consider bad, you know. And I have a high standard, so I'm hoping that, you know, they will turn out good. I haven't seen them. I might see them and see the videos and be like, ugh, okay, I don't know what I was thinking. But it was cool how Kyle's show was set up, though. We did a cover together, which we did the Wood Brothers, a song Wood Brothers made popular, and then he did one of my originals, because I don't know if anybody knows this, but probably said it a few times on here. He used to play drums with us right around the time that we would have been playing the song When You're Gone a lot, and when we recorded it shortly thereafter. So he knows that song pretty well, and it's pretty simple chord-wise, so he even sang some harmonies on it, so we did that, and, you know, a little bit different take on it, I think, than maybe originally, like the original studio version, just having him in there on backup vocals and kind of noodling around on guitar. So that was cool and fun, and that'll be something different to kind of put out there. So I'm excited about that. And then I did 3 just solo ones, and I think that, like I said, I keep saying, I think they all went pretty well. There was a little bit of goofiness in a couple of them, but that's kind of how it always goes. It's, you get that camera in front of you, and you just, like right now, I got 2 cameras in my face, but trying to get better about being on camera. But it, you know, it just gives you an extra thinking process that you might not have. But it was a cool setup in general, just because the aesthetic of like being in a pawn shop and around the musical instruments and stuff, and I don't know, the old griminess of it. Like, it just, I don't know. Every musician goes to pawn shops at some point in time, or music shops, and can kind of relate to that kind of pawn shop feel, I guess. So I think that's why it's a cool idea to, you know, do the show at pawn shops. But okay, and then so that was fun. That turned out good. We all went out to lunch after, and that was fun to kind of catch up with those people. And then I had about an hour before I had to leave for the Bellevue, Iowa show, and that's Lock 12 Music. Just a long weekend in general, if you can't tell. But you know, it was Friday in Chicago, Saturday morning in Bloomington, and then Saturday night 3 hours away in Iowa. But it, I mean, it was a fun weekend. I feel like all the shows were good, and I played pretty strong both nights, I think. The second one was a little weird. I don't feel like I nailed it necessarily, but the crowd was so into it that I had a really good time. I mean, I started playing some Petty, and people started going nuts. So, and there was people actually dancing, which I think I have a hard time getting people to do sometimes. But you know, I do the foot drum, so when people actually take advantage, it's really nice. And then, so I ended up and picked up the Weft sessions, which, you know, I thought would just be a cool extra thing to get more video content out there. Turns out that I did the whole set, and they didn't have the kick drum mic like turned on. So, you know, I feel like to an extent it was a little bit of a waste and a little bit of extra effort for, you know, not a lot of reward. But I did get one good full track kind of multi-cam version of a song that I like called The Light. So, you know, it's one of my songs that I just haven't gotten a good solid recording of quite yet anywhere. So it got that so far. I got some of the other video files and stuff, but I don't really know how it's all going to pan out, because it's a lot of extra work, because I have to like EQ in the foot drums from the camera sound So I did that for the light, and it turned out okay. I mean, I do think it kind of diminishes the overall quality a touch, but then I don't know. It's like I said, it's just a lot of extra work because I have to line up a whole extra audio track, and then I have to EQ out the foot percussion, and then I have to lower all the other frequencies, and then I don't know. It's a lot of work, but I do feel like some of the earlier songs in that set were good. So it'd be cool to have just a different live version of those, one man band style. But again, it's like what's the work towards reward contrast? Because I mean, even the one that I have done, I do think that one is probably worth it because he had already the guy that runs it down there. He had already kind of done the editing a little bit, so he usually picks one and does like a really nice edit job on with it because they have 3 cameras themselves, and then a fourth one for the Champaign community like local station, and yeah. So I started really strong. I kind of had a little bit of hiccup on the Magic song, but other than that, it was pretty good. And then I don't know. I tried some weird ones. I was just like, I just want to get some at least demos recorded of some of these songs that I've written that they don't live anywhere besides my brain or when I decide randomly to perform them, which I don't know is like it was good to play them, and I'll have a good like reference track when I'm trying to maybe record them eventually. But none of them really turned out great. Maybe one of my brand new song called Wings, which I tried, I thought turned out like okay, but not, I don't know. But the first like 4 songs were good, and then that one, and then I ended with Misery. Winter White was another one I played that wasn't too bad. And then I tried a song called Desire that I don't play enough. And I played Bold and the Best, which I have no idea what I'm doing on that song, really. It's like foot drums wise, really. I mean, it's more of an acoustic tune, but it's kind of fun to add the foot drums in, but then I get too focused on that. I digress. That's could be some more content, some different cameras, nice cameras and decent audio. Maybe not as good as the Kyle Pawn Shop Series 1 or the Madiata Media one, but just more stuff. I think that's what I've been going for really hard lately is just like, trying new stuff video wise because I got a nicer camera and I'm getting better at video editing. I'm just trying to do a clip a day of something, experimenting around a little bit with some different ideas. Posted a video, kind of trying to be funny. I don't know how that. I thought it was a funny idea. I don't know if it was. I'm definitely not an actor, so it was a little rough, and I didn't really try on the memorizing the lines. I just kind of did it a few times, and I don't know. But so it feels weird for me to do that kind of thing, but it was just an idea I had that I thought was a funny idea about how like the caption or whatever the headline was, thought playing in a one-man band would limit band drama, and then it's just like a bunch of different cuts of me complaining about different things that I'm saying I'm the one to blame. It has the guitar player like, why can't you sing on key, and then anyway, it goes through the bass player and the drummer and the singer, and I'm all those things, but I'm also critical on all those things. And like I said, the concept was funny to me, but I don't know how well I did it expressing it in the video form. But everything is an experiment. That's kind of what I think I'm learning with all this social media posting is like just try things, and I think that different things, don't just do the same thing. I think that doing a live clip is great, and I should have had more clips of me playing before I started this, but over the years and years and years. But maybe I needed that to kind of get comfortable with cameras a little bit more. But I've been trying to be on top of the social media stuff. So I'm trying some different angles and just some different things. Anyway, so that would have been the Bellevue, Iowa show, and then the WEF sessions. So WEF, the interviewer there was really nice too. It was like he just seemed very in tune with what I was doing, which was nice, and he was asking the right questions and gave me an excuse to talk more than I probably should have. But it was nice. It was nice to have a little bit different feel on that front. And then so I was kind of did that because I was playing in Champaign on Friday. That show pretty much turned out to be kind of a flop. I mean, everybody at the bar was talking about how I'd been kind of weird for a while, but as far as just like the turnouts, they haven't been able to predict them. And with there being a late Thanksgiving, and then of course you have an early Christmas break, so it was like finals week. I don't know if those are just excuses for why I can't get people to come out to my shows, but yeah, I don't know. It was very limited compared to other shows I've done there, and I'm gonna just go with what the bar said, that it wasn't my fault, but and it changed throughout the night. And one of the nice things was Mike Feldman, the guy that does the WEFT, came and uploaded all the files if I do decide that I want to get really deep into the editing of those, but we'll see what happens. And then I played at Paw Paw Brewing, which that was probably the most fun show I've played in a while. I just felt like, at least the first set, I did the thing where like I didn't take a break. I took one short break, and then I should have played for an hour and took another short break, or 45 minutes. But I was just like, I feel good. I want to play while the people were here. And they moved the set up an hour from when I'd been playing up there, because usually it was 7 to 10. They had me play 6 to 9, and but yeah, that worked out way better. I mean, people were there like almost the whole set. It did get a little bit thinner at the end of the night, but there was like people getting ready for their, like, kids getting ready for their winter formal. I guess some high school kids, which that was kind of funny. But anyway, it was a good night. I like the aesthetic of that place a lot. Just like they get really into the Christmas stuff, and they have like a giant tree on the stage, and they usually have just the regular lights that are just like the bulb, kind of not LED, but like I call them the Mumford lights, because Mumford always had them in the stage, where they just like these big bulbs, which warm kind of yellowy light. And then this time though, they had the same type of bulb, but they were just colored, so it just had like a nice festive kind of feel, which was cool. So yeah, I think that's pretty well it. I guess I'm gonna do a little announcement here. I don't know if I've said this officially, but my first Nashville tour is the first weekend in January, so I'm excited to have some shows booked down there, and I think I have 3 and 1 kind of on the way down. So if you're in the Nashville area and you feel like coming to see me, that'll be again January 8th. January 8th and 10th. I have 3 shows in those 2 days. And I'm excited to just kind of experience Nashville. So I have the Saturday night off. So I play in Marion on the 6th. And that kind of was the catalyst for why I booked the whole tour. Or I don't know if you'd call it a tour, mini tour or weekend run. Weekend run sounds about right. And because that's way down south, so I was like, I could just go the other direction another 3 hours. So I have one full set, 3-hour set Sunday at Drifters in Nashville, and then I have 2 songwriter nights, one at the Commodore and one at Winners. And I'm just really looking forward to it. I know Lowe's gonna come, maybe Ryan Wolf might come, and I'm gonna get them to play some songs with me, so that way, we can all say we played in Nashville. And then, we have that Saturday night off. I think we'll just kind of try to feel the vibe down there. So I'm excited about that. It's just going to be, something new, something different. Maybe not the best time of year because, it's going to be cold and whatnot. But, this is just round one. If it goes decent and I have a few different places that I can look into playing, then it's like, okay, well, maybe summertime I'll just plan on going down there. Like, why not? But so exciting. Then right before that, my new album, the live album, the one-man band performance, will be released. I've been working really hard on getting my festival database together, so I'm like getting ready to email a bunch of those types of places, a bunch of festivals and whatnot, to hopefully get the word out in a different way and better. So that's pretty much it. I don't have any. I think I'm gonna have Noah come back in. He's been on the podcast before, Noah Rankin, but he has a new album coming out, and he asked if he could maybe come on and promote it sometime. So in the next couple weeks, I'll probably Rankin Capados. I didn't say his second name, but Great Value Jesus. That's the band. I couldn't think of it. It's driving me nuts. But yeah, so he'll probably be in at some point in the next couple weeks, and I don't have any other guest books. So, I mean, if people feel like hitting me up, like they want to promote something or they want to just have an excuse to sit down and chat, I'm all about it. I might look into getting some other people on. I do like having guests, but it's nice to do these solo ones just to kind of recap everything, because now that it's been 2 weekends, it's like it forces me to sit down and think about the shows a little bit more intently instead of just totally let them go off my brain. And then it's like they didn't even happen. Whereas now I can kind of draw back a little bit and remember these things. But, ultimately there were 2 cool drives in seeing that skyline in Chicago. Gave me some Bottle of Justice flashbacks. Back when we used to open for them, I saw them at the House of Blues, and they have a couple songs that mention Lakeshore Drive and stuff. I don't know. On the way home, I went down a rabbit hole and listened to a lot of their stuff, and it brought me back. But the skyline is just so cool. And then the Bellevue, the drive, you get to Bellevue in Iowa, you get to the other side of the Mississippi, and you're pretty much just running like a highway up that road, and everybody had their Christmas lights out, and it just looked really cool. I was pretty, beat that day, and maybe that's why I didn't feel like on my A game as far as the sound. They do sound a little funny there. I mean, they have like their mixer, and then they had their speakers like over there pointed this way, really high up, like more in the ceiling. And then, I bring my little vocal monitor. It was okay, but, I just know I could have sounded better if I would have done my own sound. But, again, maybe I was just tired. I don't know. I would have had some other excuse for why I didn't sound good when it was my fault. I don't know. But, anyway, I've had a good few weeks, and next weekend, what do I got next weekend? I should be more prepared for this, huh? I'm never prepared. I just do stuff. I should have more of a plan, I feel like. So I'm in Belleville at Benny's Pizza Pub, down south, kind of St. Louis area on Friday. Saturday, I have Golden Fox Brewing in Decatur, and then Saturday night after that, I have another kind of interesting, weird show where I'm playing, I think it's 12 a.m. to 1:30 a.m., which I'm super happy I picked that show up. So it'll be, and it's one-man band, but unplugged, so a different kind of vibe, which I've only done a couple times, so, but easy setup, is what that means, so that's exciting. But it'll just be a fun adventure, just like everything else has been. I've been to Iowa and Michigan and Indianapolis and then Bloomington, Indiana. Just seems like I've been all over the place. And, like I said, it's just an adventure, seeing these new places, playing these new places, different people, different vibes. And it's been great. So, but yeah, that's what I'll be talking. Be talking about those three shows next week, and what else I have going on. Like I said, I'll be talking about the live album a lot, and again, I got the Nashville tour the first weekend in January. So, yeah, that'll be kind of what you're in for, I guess. But as always, I appreciate anybody who takes the time to listen, and I'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.